What's up guys, it's Turbo Hand. Today here I'm going to show you how to replace a rear main seal with the 034 Motorsport rear main seal upgrade for a 2017 Volkswagen Golf R. You can use this video for your Mark 7 GTIs, your A3s, your S3s. Other GTIs, Gen 1s, and FSIs are going to be a little bit different, but it's still in the area on how to replace a rear main seal. So let's get into it. All right guys, so once you have the tranny removed, you're going to go ahead and remove the clutch. Okay, so once you have the clutch removed, you're going to remove the flywheel. Then once you have all that removed, you're going to see the rear main seal. Okay, so once we have the rear main seal here, there's going to be all these T30 Torx screws right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove those. Once you remove these T30 Torx, you're going to go ahead and put a pry bar or a screwdriver right in this area. So let's go ahead and grab that. And you're going to put it just right here. And then once you pry, you're going to hear all the glue pretty much crackle, brittle, break. And then once that happens, you're going to go ahead and pop off the rear main seal. Now, with the rear main seal removed, go ahead and throw that down. But with the rear main seal removed, you're going to go ahead and get a razor blade or a carbide scraper. This is my favorite one right here. I use this every day. It's probably use it too much where it's the logo is worn off, but this is actually the Blue Point scraper. And every month you could go ahead and change this up. I could find the part number and show you guys, but there's a Phillips head screw on it, and you basically take that screw out when it's getting dull and you can rotate it. But this scraper does the job just perfect. So you're gonna have a little bit of RTV in this area, and you're gonna go ahead and scrape it nice and clean so that there's no RTV. Once there's no RTV, you're gonna go ahead and get a rag. Now, once you get a rag, okay, you're gonna get a rag. You're gonna put a little brake cleaner on it. And once you do that, you're gonna make it nice and dry and smooth and make sure no extra material is left. Now, once that's the case, clean off the crank as well. The stock bolts for the crankshaft have Loctite thread sealer on them. So sometimes it could be around the crank and you just want the flywheel to meet to a perfectly smooth area. So go ahead and get all that stuff off the crankshaft as well. Now, once that's done, you're gonna grab your 034 Motorsport rear main seal. And that should be right over here. So here we have the 034 Motorsport rear main seal. Now I'm going to show you guys where to put the RTV, how much RTV to put, and how to install it in the vehicle. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so now that I have the sealant that I want to use and the 034 rear main seal here, what we're going to do is we're going to be paying attention to this line on the outer edge of the 034 rear main. So this is the side that sits on the engine block itself. This is the outside. The outside the bolts obviously go into. But yeah, let's get into it. So on this right here, you're going to be putting the RTV all around the line that they put on the seal for you. So let's get into it. And on the corners, just so you know, on the corners here, you're going to see the line, but you're also going to see that there's a spot to put a little bit more on the corners. So you're going to follow that line right here, and then right here on the bottom edges. So on the bottom edges here and the bottom edges here, you're going to be putting a little bit more RTV. And then the rest, you just follow the line. So just make sure all the sealant is in the line. If a little bit is out of the line, just stuff it into the line. This is just the general area that it's going to be sealing in. So as long as it's in the general area and you have it in the line, it is going to seal just fine. Especially the guys from 034. I've dealt with a lot of aftermarket companies that tried to make this seal. Not going to mention any names, and never works out. But this is how it looks when it's done. It's all in the line that they recommend the RTV in. And if you make it flat, that's also okay, because when you sandwich it and bolt it down to the proper torque spec, it's going to sandwich and the gunk is the RTV is going to come out. So now let me show you about this part. This part's important. So on the rear main seal here, okay, on the rear main seal, what you're not going to want to do is, I need to buy a camera holder, huh guys? Jeez. So this flap right here for the seal, you're not going to want it to come inwards, because then you're going to have nothing but an oil leak. So what you want to make sure is that this seal is going, it's not flipped over. So basically, when you put the seal installer in, you're going to want to put it on the back side, and you're going to make sure the inner lip doesn't flip over. See how the lip is flat? If it flips, you want basically the ridge right here to lay flat. And then you're going to put the seal installer in. Just like that. Now we're going to go hang it on the crank. Now, there's the crankshaft seal, okay? Installer. This installer is going to sit on the crankshaft itself. So make sure it sits on the crank, okay? Now, the seal's not on. As you can tell, the seal's not on, okay? It can move. As long as this seal installer is on the crank, you could go ahead and slide the 034 rear main seal onto place, just as so. Once it slides into place, then you could go ahead and remove this. Okay, so once it's removed, then the seal is installed properly, and the 034 rear main seal is installed. Then you're going to get the bolts that they supplied with the kit. You're going to put a little blue Loctite, not red, blue Loctite on the threads, and you're going to put them in each hole where they belong, and you're going to tighten them up in the manufacturer's torque spec and cross pattern. Then you're all set. Then you could put, you don't even have to take this off, but I like to take it off to clean the area. It's hard to do it with one hand. I really got to invest in a camera stand, but YouTube's just starting out for me, so we'll get there. You can put the flex plate back on, put your flywheel on, put your clutch on, put your transmission in, bleed it, and you're done. Hope you guys enjoyed, but definitely a good upgrade on the rear main seal compared to stock. Stocks always fail. The glue always fails. It is not a manufacturer defect, but sure go through a lot of these. But this is definitely the nicest upgrade out there. There's a lot of different brands, like I said, but the 034 Motorsport one has never gave me a problem. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the video, and if you enjoyed it, and I'll continue making these.